My final presentation will be about connecting IFSP goals to family needs. And what I interviewed the mother of the Klein family, not the real name, and um, the Klein family consists of a mother and father, Joey, which is also not the real name, who is almost 4, and Sarah, who is 1.5 years old. We're going to be speaking mostly about Joey's needs because he is the child with special needs in the family. So let's go to Joey. He has a few needs. He has sensory sensitivity. As a baby, he always wanted to be held, and he would cry if the parents would even try to put him down. He preferred standing when he was being changed rather than laying down on a soiled diaper. He used to seek sensory input from sharp objects. I mean, not really sharp. Like, let's say it's like this, and he would touch it and try to feel and pushes the pad of his finger into it. And when he was and he also, and this is the major concern, he only likes hard, crunchy foods. He refuses foods like yogurt or anything with sauce or melted cheese or anything like that. He just refuses to eat it. He also has social anxiety, and it expresses itself when his parents are taking him out anywhere that he's unfamiliar with. He has a meltdown. He starts crying. He starts tantruming. He refuses care from babysitters. He only wants his parents. And when his father is home, he doesn't even want any care from the mother. He only wants his father. Let's say he says, "Oh, I only want daddy to give me my drink." And he does not like to be in large groups of people, specifically during meal times. He also has a few developmental delays, fine motor skill delays, and slight gross motor skill delay as well. And Joey's disabilities have affected the family in the following ways. The parents are exhausted because they need to juggle Joey's needs and all their other responsibilities, including family responsibilities and work responsibilities. They don't have any time to themselves because he's so needy. He wakes up, he doesn't sleep a lot, and meal times are extra hard. The mother is worried that Joey is not getting enough nutrition because he's such a picky eater. And Joey has behaviors when anybody tries to push him to eat something that he doesn't want to eat. The grandparents live next door, the maternal grandparents. And whenever the family is invited over for a meal, Joey refuses to go. And so one parent ends up staying half of the time with Joey at their house, and during that time, the other parent is with their daughter at the grandparents' house, and then the parents can switch also. And the mother says she needs to pick her battles. When others give her parenting advice, she feels they just don't understand the reality of the situation because they're not in it and they're not experiencing it every day and becoming exhausted by needing to cater to their child's needs. Also, the mother is frustrated with the lack of progress, that the therapies that are right now that they get right now, the services that they get are all through Zoom. And she said that she wants more coaching as to how to help him make progress, and she doesn't see that progress either. And I also wanted to say that the mother also expressed that she feels she can't spend enough time with her daughter because Joey is always asking her for attention. And finally, the mother feels like she's alone. She doesn't feel emotionally supported. So, my first recommendation um, has to do with Joey's eating habits. The fact that he only prefers crunchy foods. He has behaviors when therapists or parents try to get him to eat non-preferred foods, and specifically mealtimes are stressful and upsetting to the family members. And so my recommendation is to go really slow. With assistance, Joey will taste one non-preferred food item by putting some on his tongue. So, for example, they can give him a spoon of yogurt and he just has to stick out his tongue to lick it, and then that is fine. As of right now, he refuses to even do that. And didn't want to make I didn't want to give them such a high goal because this is the most stressful um, issue that they have right now. So I wanted to give them something that is measurable, that they can see a faster success with. So I broke down the steps to get him to eat a preferred food, and I gave them the first step, and that's it. So who would be doing this? The parents would be doing this, and they would pick the parents and the therapist. They would pick one food to try. And they will also figure out, hopefully by doing an FBA or something like that, a strong tangible incentive for Joey, a toy. He likes trains, he likes transportation vehicles, things like that. And they just use that incentive to get Joey to put a little bit of the non-preferred food on his tongue. That's it. And they would do this at home. And I was thinking that they would probably should do this during therapy session, because then they're not putting pressure on him during a mealtime and affecting the rest of the family. And when he is improved, that's when they can go with the rest of the family. So they will basically note down that when Joey's able to do this, and this is like a one-time goal, just a short-term goal, so that they feel some success. So I actually put down that that it should be reported back to the parents, or there should be a report to the IFSP team quarterly, and they'll reevaluate in 3 months to see if he's made any progress, or even sooner than that if he's made progress. And once again, because this is so stressful, I just wanted to give them a reachable goal in terms of the feeding issues. My second recommendation has to do with Joey's social anxiety. He doesn't like going out of the house. He doesn't like going into buildings that he doesn't know. He has a hard time being around a lot of people. And even at his grandparents who live next door, they try to have family meals together. But he even refuses to be there. And he wants to stay at home. And just as a side thing, I'm not sure if it's because of COVID. He's been used to staying home. I know that a lot of adults are feeling that way too. But regardless of why he wants to stay home, it's really creating an issue in the family's lifestyle, because one parent would say go to stay at home. They don't eat together. One parent would stay with the daughter, one parent with the son, at separate locations, and that so and this is really affecting them and their relationship with the grandparents. So I was thinking that a reasonable outcome would be that Joey would be able to stay at his grandparents' house for half an hour during the family meal. And I would actually recommend either a behaviorist or a psychologist or a therapist work with the family to help Joey's social anxiety. I did a little bit of research, and they said cognitive behavioral therapy is the best option for this, but he's 4. And I think that he just might need a little behavioral push, but in a very positive way. So my suggestion would be the parents would bring preferred toys that he has to play with when he's at his grandparents' house, or even a special grandparents' house toy that he has to play with. And they'll start with him just being there for 5 minutes. And then as he accomplishes that 5 minutes, then they can move it up to 10 minutes, 20 minutes until they get to half an hour. And they can go slowly but surely, move it up there just to get Joey acclimated to being in a separate place. And I'm assuming that Joey has been to his grandparents' house before, even though they used to live in England. And so I thought that this might also be a safe place for the parents because it's the grandparents, and they might just be more understanding if Joey has a behavior or if they're not successful. At least you would hope. And basically, I'm suggesting that the family record how long he stayed at the grandparents' house, what he was doing, and then every 6 months they can see what the progress has been for that. Okay, so my third recommendation is based on his fine motor skills delay, but I connected it also with the mother's need to feel like she's being coached more by the therapist, specifically because they're over Zoom. And she mentioned to me that Joey was holding a crayon incorrectly, and she was waiting for the therapist, the occupational therapist, to say something about it. And the occupational therapist really wasn't, when she said something about it, the occupational therapist really wasn't open necessarily to help her. She like stopped what she was doing for a minute and said, okay, yeah, he should hold it like this. Um, and and that's basically how she tried, how and that was basically how they handled it. And Joey's mother did not feel like that really covered the situation, and nor did it create any permanent progress. So as he is 4 years old, and right, it is appropriate for him to start to hold a pencil in the tripod grip, which is the 3-fingered grip, like so. Wait, actually, like this. I figured and because the mother actually mentioned that, I figured that was a good goal for Joey to work towards. So he will use a writing implement, crayon, marker, whatever it is, a pencil, while he's coloring, and he will pick it up and hold it independently without help for 80% of the time over the course of 2 weeks. So the occupational therapist should help the parents also do this, and they should basically start with prompts just to help him hold a writing implement correctly. They can also use the basic tricks of giving him smaller crayons to hold to force him to only hold it with 3 fingers. You can use pencil grips, any of those things that the therapists think are necessary to help him achieve this goal. And I would advise that they do this at the home where the therapy takes place. And I also think that aside from when the therapy takes place, the parents should try to encourage Joey to do a writing drawing activity at least once a day, even just for 5 minutes, just so they can work with him on this grip. And they should basically they should measure if he picks up the pencil even just one, or the pen even just once in the proper grip by himself, that is considered a success. Just even one time, and the rest of the time he could be holding it, with his palm. And it should just be tracked over a 2-week period and to see what the percentage is. And there should be a report every 6 months there. The final recommendation has to do with the mother, mostly the mother's need, and I'm assuming it's also the father's need. Joey's mother feels overwhelmed and exhausted dealing with Joey's needs and all the other responsibilities that a regular family has. People are giving her advice about how to handle his behaviors, and they don't have to deal with his behaviors on a daily basis. And she doesn't feel like she's emotionally supported by anyone. She feels alone, that nobody really understands what she's going through. And as a parent of a child who exhibited some of those behaviors, I can very much understand what she's going through. So I recommend that Um, one or both parents will have access to attend scheduled support group meetings for parents with children with disabilities. And what does that mean? It's a rather long thing, but I wanted to make sure that every part of it was there. So I'm going to explain it. So one or both parents. I understand that, they're very busy and they don't have a lot of time. They have kids, they can't always use a babysitter. So I put down either one parent or both parents. It doesn't matter which one, but they will have access to attend scheduled support group meetings. So that means that they will know when those meetings are, and they will know how to get there, and they will be able to schedule them going to these support meetings um, on a regular basis. So my suggestion on how to do this is that the service coordinator will put them in touch with and perhaps attend a meeting with them, at least the initial meeting, but put them in touch with an organization that helps parents of that have children with special needs. Specifically, the organization should explain to them the services that they offer, counseling, and I was thinking really support groups, because a support group I think would really help the mom understand that she's not alone and that there's hope at the end of this tunnel, and that her feelings are normal and understandable, and she's and that she's a wonderful parent. She cares about her kids, and she really wants him to get the best education he can to just be better. Um, so, but this organization should have those regular support groups scheduled. And so in terms of that, when it's reported, the service coordinator they'll report if the service coordinator put the parents in touch with the appropriate organization, and if them attending or getting some services from the organization actually worked out. And that's for the parents to report. And every 6 months is fine. And it should be discussed who would be reporting it. The service coordinator and the parents and everybody on the team would discuss whether or not it's practical to use this organization. And if it isn't, then they should create a goal that it should be another organization or another option, just to give the parents that emotional support. And I put down actually that the parents and the coordinator should update the IFSP to reflect any other needs that the parents may have, just to show them that they should have the opportunity to express their needs to the IFSP team and to get those needs taken care of. And that's it.